Weird Night on Cedar Lake Road, Oscoda, Michigan by Dennis M. Morrison. This actually took place in the mid to late 1970s. I'm really not certain of the date. Nor will I give the exact address of where this happened out of respect for the people that now occupy the house. Suffice it to say that this took place in Oscoda, Michigan, very close to where Cedar Lake Road and Loud Drive converge. At the time of these events, I had no idea of the ancient Indian culture that once called that area home. In fact, in late woodland times, there was quite a considerable occupation in that specific area, which has become known as the Old Veneton Creek site, a name I coined for the ancient village some years ago. Also at that time, I had no idea what mysterious artifacts lay beneath the lawn in that backyard. For more on that, though, please see my video titled Oscoda, Michigan Indian Image Stone. Let me preface this account with just a little information on the house that I dwelled in with my mother and father. It sat on top of a ridge where at one time in the ancient past there was a higher water level. At the back of the house was one bedroom, a guest room mostly. It overlooked the ridge and then the Veneton Lake in the background. For some reason, no one ever liked sleeping in that room. It was a nice, cozy, and comfortable room, but you felt uncomfortable in it. There was never any overt paranormal activity there, just a profound feeling of discomfort or something just not being quite right. In retrospect, I wish that when I had found the mysterious artifacts at the base of the ridge several years later, that I would have had time to do some minor excavations under the house beneath that room. I feel very certain that artifacts of some nature are underneath that room. Anyways, to the events of the night, in this night in particular. My brother and his family lived in Bridgeport and were up visiting for the weekend, and so they were of course using the guest room. Now this night was extremely hot. It was during those dog days of summer. My bedroom was upstairs, one room the entire length of the house with a window on each end. I had my bed at the south end of the room, right next to the window where I could look out over the lake at night, and if by chance there happened to be a refreshing breeze, I might actually catch it there. Sleep came very difficult that night due to the heat, and I remember tossing and turning. There was a haze in the dark stillness out my window. Finally, after hours, the house silent, I fell asleep, but that didn't last for long. I woke to strange sounds outside. Now, I know this sounds like a bad ghost story, but I heard like grunting and moaning sounds outside, and animal-like sounds, and the sounds of objects being dragged across the ground. I don't know why, but I got a sick, numb feeling in the pit of my stomach. The sound started out low and beyond the ridge in the backyard, but it kept coming closer. It was so eerie, and I was not a brave soul back then. I was easily freaked out by any strange sounds at night. I looked out the window, and the haze in the hot, humid night air seemed quite thick. Now down towards Loud Drive, where the railroad track crosses, I could see lights, sort of reddish and bluish, but I could not see any vehicle, and this crossing had no signal lights. The lights were strange, but I could not place what was possibly making the lights, or what they might be a part of. It seemed about 45 minutes later, and the sounds faded away, and so also did the lights. I slept very uneasy the rest of the night, and I don't know why, but I felt something rather unearthly had gone on. Now, my brother and sister-in-law were abuzz about the lights and the sounds the next morning at the breakfast table. What was very odd is that when we went outside to the driveway, which was unpaved, there was a curious ripple pattern across the sandy dirt as though something had been dragged across there. The marks were long and seemed a consistent distance of about 5 inches apart. We never found out what caused the marks or the sounds or lights that night, and now I could only venture to guess. But being as the curious artifacts I found in the backyard many years later had much paranormal activity associated with them, I believe deep inside that this event was somehow connected with the spiritual activity that at one time was part of the culture that existed there in the late woodland period some 1400 years earlier. Have I proof? Absolutely none. All I have are the memories of a very unusual experience in the very early hours of a very hot morning in the dog days or nights of summer.